Okay, here's the skill builder for drawing digitally. So we're going to be using this program, IBISPaint. So you're going to open it. You're going to click on My Gallery and then hit the plus sign at the top. And then just select any size because this is just for practice. Once you have that selected, most important thing down here is your layers. Go ahead and create some new layers by clicking on this. Click on the plus sign 2 times so that you're going to use sketch, color, line art, okay? If it's blue, that means that's the one that's selected, so select the bottom one. So do this after me. So go ahead and create 3 layers and then select the bottom one. And then this is where you're going to practice. So over here is the most important tools is the brush and the eraser. If you tap the brush tool, you can select a different one. I'm just gonna sketch with something random, just soft school pencil for me. All right, then you can also change the color. I like to sketch in red. I don't know why, it's just something that I've always done. A lot of other artists do as well. So I'm literally just gonna do something very simple, just for a skill builder, just because you're learning how to do the technique, okay? So I'm just gonna draw like a head, okay? And then maybe I'll add eyes. So you can do anything you want. You can draw like a circle or something. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. All right, so here's my sketch. Then when you're finished with your sketch, you're going to come down here. You're going to click on the layers. Click on the 3rd layer, not the 2nd one. That's the coloring layer. You're going to click on the 3rd layer, okay? Then click back on the screen. Select a different color. I'm just going to use black for my line art. And then you can keep the same brush or you can change the brush to a different one. It's kind of up to you. I'm just going to change it to this one. This down here is your brush size. So you can make your brush bigger or smaller depending on the size. I'm just going to keep mine kind of big. You can use 2 fingers to zoom and then just use your finger or a stylus. And you're just going to outline your red line in the parts that you want to keep, just like this. Notice also you can rotate just by using 2 fingers and then just twisting, and it can rotate your picture. If you make a mistake, use 2 fingers and tap and it will undo. So if you use 2 fingers and tap, it's basically the same thing as hitting the undo button. And then if you go too far, like say if I tap too far but I wanted to keep something, use 3 fingers and tap and it will bring it back. Okay, so it said that my sketch is done and I have done this is called the line art. Then what you're gonna do is come back down here, click, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna hide the sketch layer. See that eyeball right there? You're just gonna click it to hide your sketch. And then click back on here. This is the color layer. You do not want to color on the same layer as your line art layer. Color on the 2nd layer. So I'm going to use a brush tool. I'm going to make sure I'm using a bigger one so that it doesn't take as long to color it in. I can use the same one actually, it's just fine. And then I'm going to pick a different color. I'm going to color my cat head in, I guess green, just for funsies. I selected yellow on accident. That's okay. By the way, this down here is your color. You can slide this around, whatever color, see this one that's changing right here, whatever color that is, that's the color that's gonna be. So I'll just do like a tan color cat, just keep it somewhat normal. All right, so I'm just going to use my finger. Now the good thing is that if I accidentally get outside of my line, it's not that big of a deal because I can just use my eraser tool, which is right here, but you can also change the type of eraser that you're using by clicking on it. And then I could just erase away if I make a mistake. So it's okay if you get outside of your line art and stuff like that, okay? All right, anyway, so back to my brush tool. Make sure you click back on brush, and then I'm just gonna finish filling this in. Another thing you can do is you can also just outline it on the inside, like this. There's more advanced things like using, what do you call it? Like the lasso tool and stuff, but I'm just doing a simple thing for today. And then I'm gonna use the bucket tool, click, click, easy. If you don't line it up first, sometimes that bucket tool is gonna go everywhere. All right, so now I have my line art and I have my fill color. So now I wanna add some shading. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to click here on the 2nd layer, and then I'm gonna click the plus sign to add a new layer. Now I only want it to color on the part that's already colored in. So I'm gonna click clipping down here. There's a button called clipping. That means that anything that I do on this layer will only be done on the part that I colored in the layer below it. So make sure that it's selected on this layer, make sure it's on clipping, and then I can pick a different color. So say if I wanted a slightly darker color on the top. So now even if I'm scribbling on the outside, it's not gonna damage anything except for the stuff that's on the inside. So I can go like this, and then I can use my bucket to fill it in faster, just like that. So now I have a calico cat, which is cute, I guess. I don't know. So easy. And then if I wanted to, I can switch over to different types of things, which you can add multiple layers of that. Okay, so now that I'm done coloring my object, to color my background, I'm just going to go underneath the color layer. So click back on the sketch layer, and then create a new layer under the color layer. Make sure you are under the color layer. And then all I have to do is just color whatever I want my background. So say if he's just going to be like on a blue sky, I can just use my bucket tool, and there we go. Now I have my background colored, and I can even take, like, say if I'm going to have like some darker blue, or like we'll say clouds or something, then I can draw, oops, wrong brush. Let's use something like this. Okay, I like this one. All right, so then I can just draw clouds, and anything that's drawn behind it will not damage the layer above it, so then you'll be fine on that. So now I have a little kitten head in the sky. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial. So make sure that you do this with me. You don't have to draw the same thing as me, obviously, but make sure that you have sketch. The top layer should be your line art, followed by the color should be in the middle with a clipping mask above, and then do something for your background real quick, just so that we can see that you colored it. All right, and then that would be it. And then in order to save it, all you have to do is just click this back arrow, and then back to my gallery, and it's automatically gonna be in your gallery, okay? All right, good luck. Make sure you show it to me whenever you're done.